Welcome back, everybody. This is Doc T. This is Dr. Janssen, and with us today, one of our physical therapists here at SHARC, Dr. Yu.
Hello.
Dr. Yu, want to get him up here and do an introduction and kind of get everybody out there to see who that guy is.
We finally got him.
It's been months and months. So he has a very fascinating kind of story where he came from, where he was going to go. We can dive in a little bit how he and I met, and we'll go from there. So, welcome, Dr. Yu.
Hi, everyone. I keep wanting to look up, but I should probably
look
right
just at the
camera.
camera.
It's just hard.
So.
That screen's right there, but it's it's kind of
okay.
fun thing. So let's give some background. Where'd you go to school for before PT school?
I did my undergrad at UC Irvine. I was a bio major.
Nice.
For my master's, I did it at Long Beach State. I was a kinesiology or exercise science major, and then my doctorate I got at UC San Francisco.
Wow.
Nice.
Already more schooling than I can even fathom.
Yeah, too much school.
Now, you had told me, if I remember, you were contemplating going PhD. There's a time in your
I
life.
originally want to go into medicine like a good Asian person. And,
Wow. Start off with that one.
that didn't work out well. My grades are pretty bad, but I've always wanted to get into some sort of science or healthcare or medicine type of stuff. And so I was doing research at the time at UC Irvine, doing more exercise science, kind of space, NASA related things. And
wow. Jesus.
I went to, so I decided to go into a PhD route. It seemed kind of fun. And then I applied, I didn't get in, and I was like, all right, what's my next step? And I wanted to continue with the healthcare route, and I always knew I wanted to get into some sort of patient care, and I've always liked exercise. And so I tried doing physical therapy. I volunteered at several places. I quit my old jobs just to focus on trying to get into physical therapy school.
Wow.
I gave myself 1 year. I was either going to do that or teach high school and coach volleyball for the rest of my life. It would have been
Also
really
could be fun.
awesome.
Yeah, also fun.
And so I did my master's and I applied to PT school, and here I am.
Got in.
Yeah.
And we're lucky you did. We're lucky the PhD people said, no, we don't want you.
Yeah, I kind of realized with that route, like, it was really fun, but it was really the people that I was around that were really amazing. And then, there was no guarantee I would be around those type of people again. And so I wanted to make sure that I was in a career that I felt very fulfilled in, and that would inspire me and I would enjoy.
That's so how we met, another doctor, Dr. Goswami, out there who kind of was looking for a PT to do some stuff. I was doing some stuff with him, and you and I got introduced. And working with you and getting to talk to you over those, we dated for like 6-8 months. Got to work with those patients, co-patient some, or co-doctored some patients or whatever. And when we talk about building teams in places like we have here, it is, like you mentioned, finding those people that you could look at every day and talk to, and actually you don't mind seeing them. Like, hey, what's up, man? How's it going? Like, you're actually genuinely curious about that person. And that's kind of a cool thing. I'm hoping we're giving you that feeling and vibe here at
totally.
SHARC for sure. But I said I understand that. I understand a lot. So let's see. We have some other questions that we're going to pop up here for him. Oh, real quick. Married?
I'm married, have
How
a
many
dog.
years?
His name is Gus.
Gus.
Been married for about 3.5 years now.
You guys got married just before.
During COVID-ish
Yeah,
area.
okay,
Yeah.
And Gus is our resident dog tour that you'll see on our
he's
newsletters
great.
when they go out.
Oh, he's great.
He's the sweetest dog.
He's
My
a
dog's
half.
a spaz. Your dog is like the sweetest, just cruising around. Love that dog.
How'd you get Gus? Because that's a fun story.
We rescued him from. We didn't rescue him, but we got him from a. What was it called? A SoCal Golden Retriever rescue. And so they're great. He was never had to be in a shelter. They foster other dogs, and so we
cool.
picked him up. And he was in San Diego. They were like, we applied. They interviewed us. They went to our house.
Oh, wow.
And they were like, and then when we applied for him, they were like, okay, when you get him or when you go see him, it's either yes or no. There's no maybe. And so we're like, okay, we're driving down there. Like, I guess we have a dog now. And so he's a half Golden Retriever, half German Shepherd. He has zero traits of either of them. He doesn't play catch. He doesn't bark. He kind of just hangs out, which is great.
He's great. It's funny. Our dog, same way. We got her for because she's a hunting dog.
Right.
She doesn't hunt anything. She'll find dead animals, but she will never be the one that caused their death. So rabbits and squirrels that just poop over our yard or whatever, she'll never chase them.
Right.
Yeah, she almost took a nap next to one of that rabbits one time. Still to this day, I'm like, no. So I understand your plight with that. So yeah.
What I love about Gus when he comes into the office, because he does come into the office once in a while, is that whenever I'm doing notes on the floor, Gus will just come up, sit right next to my feet, and I realize Not aren't that bad.
He's a sweet dog.
Yeah, he's
he used to come
great.
to my office a lot because I had the only rug, I think, that he could lay on.
For a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, so he'd come in and lay on the rug because he loved the rug. We're like, guess I got to see patient, man. You gotta go. It's sweetheart.
Yeah, he's the greatest.
All right, what do we got for him?
I guess we kind of answered a bunch of those first questions in the beginning.
Oh, let's give him something good.
Yeah, I'm trying to find something good. You kind of mentioned you played volleyball here.
Yes.
You
Oh, yeah,
to coach
hobbies.
volleyball. Yeah, what do you do for fun?
Biggest hobby right now is probably volleyball. Trying to get into golf with Nandi and some of the other guys here, but volleyball is my biggest one. We have a group. We play a version of volleyball called 9-man volleyball. It's a Chinese American specific style of volleyball. 9 players, is bigger court, lower net. Things like that. Yeah,
Sounds awesome.
different rules. You can throw the ball. You know,
you can throw the ball?
Yeah, it's basically like it's a lot very like controlled, chaotic style of volleyball. It's really fun. But a really good friend of mine, he's the founder of the team. His name is Ed Lin. Shout out to Ed. He started this group, and we've been around since 2013. We've grown from one team to technically 4 teams, 3 men's teams and a women's team.
Oh, wow.
And it's kind of grown to more than just volleyball. It's more about like kind of personal development, growth in the Asian male community. And so that's
very
what we
nice.
do over there. So we practice almost every other Sunday. We have a big tournament, a 3-day tournament in end of August, Labor Day weekend.
Oh, wow.
And it's every year. It started in the 1930s.
He plays on concrete.
Traditionally it is played on concrete outside, but now that
Wow.
Sounds painful.
the tournament's grown so much, there's not enough streets, I guess, that we can hold everyone into one space. So now it's going to be now it's typically indoors now. So this year is going to be in New York. I won't play this year, but this year will be New York. In a couple more years, it'll come back to LA. So it goes
wow.
it goes
That's
through
really cool.
Chinatowns across North America and Canada
wow. That's really
and the
cool.
United States. Yeah,
Wow, that's a lot.
yeah. So we've been doing that for about 10, 15 years now.
That's so cool.
That's really cool. How often do you play and practice with that then?
It's about almost every Sunday, about 3 Sundays a week. We start around end of February, early March, up until August, and then then we
Take a
practice,
break.
much we can do, and then we play in the tournament, and then we break for about 3-4 months, and we do it again.
That's
And
awesome.
and we get a lot of young guys that come in, and so it's really nice to kind of grow the community and see like the next generation of volleyball players. And
sure.
so I'm now one of the older guys, which is really weird to see. But, these guys are getting younger.
How old are you again now?
I'm 40 now, which is
40,
insane.
he's the old guy.
So, yeah, and a lot of these guys are like 20, 22,
Oh.
just barely getting
So
out of
elastic.
college. Yeah, and they're
So
so,
elastic.
young and they jump so high, and I jump so low. And so it's,
Hey, you know what, though? That's being smarter because you won't hurt yourself landing that way.
exactly. I mean, luckily I'm a setter, so I don't really have to do a lot
Jump too
anyways.
high.
And so my career lasts longer than most people. So.
You'll save your MCLs. Don't do what I did.
All the good stuff you'll save. All right.
All right. So you mentioned golf already. What got you into golf?
And it's just fun. I mean, it's a really challenging hobby / sport. I mean, it's really
Very
expensive,
challenging.
but man, it's so challenging. It's so technical, and it's just a fun thing to go out and you get to be outside all the time. I think
which
that's
is
one
nice.
of the big things, and you get to talk to people, really network a lot with other people. But it's just so incredibly challenging. It's a little bit easier on the body, and so. It's just a nice little venture that I'm trying to kind of do a little bit more of.
How are you shooting the scores?
I don't even keep scores. That's how bad I am. And so
I love it.
my goal is to not lose a ball, and it's been okay so far.
That's a really
Yeah.
good
That's a good goal.
That's a good
It's
goal.
not a bad goal.
The last time I played with Alvin, because Alvin and Nani pulled me to a game. I think was it 3 weeks ago or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that. The last hole, he hits a birdie. Literally last hole, and it was unplanned, but it was so cool. I was like halfway, like 3/4 of the way down, and I see it. I was like, there ain't no way, there ain't no way, and it just keeps rolling, and it gets there. It's
Chip-
it's
no.
good.
Chip shot from the rough.
There you go.
That's
Hey,
crazy.
That's the best way to end the game too.
That's the best way to end a round.
Yeah.
I don't care how many bogeys, triples, double, whatever, you end on a birdie, you're like, I win.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm the winner today.
All right. So we've asked this on every single podcast for everyone that's new. But we're gonna ask it to you. If you were an animal, what type of animal would you be, and why?
Mythical or realistic?
I'd like to be my dog. He's got the chillest life. No worries in the world.
He doesn't worry about
He's
a thing.
beautiful and he's handsome. Everyone loves him, and so I'd probably try to be my dog.
Yeah.
Right.
I always laugh. I want to be reincarnated as my cats with owners like us because these guys are fat and happy. They're 17, 18 years old and they nap all day
Yeah.
and eat, and that's all they do. Yeah, and get pets. I'm like, that
nice.
sounds amazing. Yeah.
All right. In terms of like physical therapy here, right? How would you say you describe your practice as?
Oh, good question. I would say it's very heavily manual focused, right? We do a lot of hands-on work, and then we always try to incorporate some sort of exercise, right? Some sort of physical medicine involved, right? So we do a lot of customized, like very specific type of movements, right? And so, I mean, we always try to lift heavy. That's our always goal. Our always goal is to try to get them to do something heavy,
That's
a
why we're
deadlift, a squat, something where they're loading their body. So that's our big goal. But in the meantime, while they're trying to recover, trying to get back from pain or get out of pain or get from injury, it's a lot of hands-on work. I feel like it really does add to what we do, is trying to physically feel kind of what they feel and try to manipulate and change things, and so that way they can feel better and move better and so on.
For sure. And then you have a fun hobby with gait analysis.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah. So Nandi, our other physical therapist, who you guys might have met up in past episodes. So he was my mentor coming into physical therapy school, and when I was a first year, he really taught me a lot and taught me. I would say the majority of what I do, and how I think now. And I had a really tough patient. It was a knee pain. It wasn't anything traumatic. He didn't fall or anything. He didn't tear anything, but it just wouldn't go away. We were loading and doing all these different things. And I asked him, like, could you help me with this patient? And what he did was just asked him to walk and look at his gait. And so just minor changes in his gait really just changed how he felt in his pain. And I was just like, oh my God, it was something so simple yet so powerful. And so it gave me this huge deep dive into gait analysis and gait training. There's a good book I think it's called Born to Walk. And I really studied that book. It's a lot about, the typical slings in the body, but just like how the body moves and why it compensates, why it does what it does, right? A lot of times we don't understand how the body really works until things fail, right? And so when you see what normal looks like, and then when you see what when you see what things go wrong, you can understand, like, okay, what's missing and what they're gonna need, either mobility wise or strength wise, or simply just motor control, like technique wise. And it's not like people don't know how to walk, but there's always ways to be more efficient so that you're not beating yourself up all the time. If you're walking, 15,000 steps a day, if you're like a teacher, PE teacher going outside, working with kids all day long, right? There are ways to kind of manage that stuff.
And we'll get into another talk. I think we'll bring you on for it, where we talk about footwear and shoes and things of that nature, because this fascination we've gotten, because we agree with you 100%, the 10,000 steps a day thing, which is great, except that if you have, 10,000 bad steps a day, then you're probably going to have some issues at some point in time.
Right, exactly.
And so it's a great way to look at things. It's very fascinating, because I've had a couple patients of mine that I was like, you know what, there's a probably walking thing here. I can do it, but he's really good at it. So we're just going to throw him over to Dr. Yu and let Dr. Yu handle it. And they were thankful, because it actually helped them correct some things they were doing on a day-to-day. And, you give me a UPS driver or a teacher is a good example. You got to do something, because that's how they're living every day, all day. And we talk about technique with, like, getting out of a chair. Like, got a back pain patient and watch how they squat. How do you get out of a chair? It's kind of important. Why? Because you do it 50 times a day.
Right.
So we probably should do it efficiently.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's nothing overly complicated. They're just things that are missing. Maybe you're missing some hip extension. Maybe you're missing some arm swing, right? Maybe you don't, toe off, right? You don't really get off your big toe. And so when you don't do these things like multiple times throughout the day, then you're not really maximizing your ability to do what you want to do.
And you're burning more energy.
Right. And
you're
you're
not efficient.
Right. And if you ever see like someone who's like maybe a little bit older, maybe who walks with a cane, they use shuffle gait. It's kind of and so it's very energy intensive, right? And if we can find ways to get them to walk a little bit, more efficient, then all of a sudden there's less discomfort. They enjoy walking a little bit more, and all of a sudden their mind is taken off maybe with things what they feel, and they can do things what they want to do. Yeah,
it's funny because I have a patient, 84-year-old now, loves going walking. Of course, it seems to be a go-to for your 60+ crew, 70+ crew, which is great. And she always had pain 5 minutes into walking. We work on this, we work on that. She's very scoliotic. She's got about a 30-ish, 35 degrees curvature. So we had a lot of things we had to work on her, but we got her moving. We got her, and I used hips activation, some core stability stuff for her, and that helped that pain go away. Yeah. And her lat was tied into it. Go figure that one out, right? So it is a fascinating thing, but you're very right. Yeah. And it's sometimes the smallest little things make the biggest differences to people.
Yeah, it's just simple awareness. A lot of people, we don't know what we don't know until you find, and that's why we're here, right? We want to try to allow people to see what they don't see. And, once they kind of see that, all of a sudden, like, oh yeah, okay, things start to change, right? And that's what we want.
And getting them informed and understanding their bodies, and when there's a problem there, that you really want to address it. Right. Here's what I see. Can you feel and see it? Yep. Okay, great. We're all on the same page. Now let's go through our process.
Right.
And that you cannot do in 20, 30 minutes.
I wish you could.
Yeah. It'd be wonderful.
Our whole
but-
business model completely different.
Yeah, no, it doesn't work that way.
Right.
Yeah.
And I mean, it takes, people get to where they are, and it's over time, right?
Yeah,
And,
months,
and
years.
so it's going to take time to get them back to where
Yeah.
they want to be, or at least better than where they were before.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure. And the great thing is, we all have the habit of teaching our clients not just about what's going on with them and what got them here and so forth. We also like to here's some homework for you. You keep doing your homework. Okay, we keep them on a task schedule, if you will, week to week, so they can kind of keep up with all that stuff, and that helps everything else go together.
Right.
All right.
Correct. Any fun questions for
Yeah.
him?
Well, you mentioned Nandi, and we've had Nandi on the podcast, and he's a character. How is he like as a mentor?
Nandi has what we call good vibes. Shout out to Nandi.
Yeah.
Right. And I say that because a lot of his patients, the people that he meets, they all feel the same way. Right, and so who was another person? One of my other patients prior, when I asked him to go see him for certain things, like especially on the weekends, the first thing he told me is like, "Man, Nani's got good vibes." I'm like, "Yeah, that's why we work so well together." He's very empathetic. He's very compassionate about people and about what he does, and with people. And so I think people feel that he cares a lot, and he cares about how. Obviously how he works, but making sure that you get better, right? And that's like a big thing about him. And so it's always a journey with him. It's not a journey by yourself. And I think he translates that really well in his practice and how he treats. And so and it's really enjoyable to be around. And so he's very positive all the time. He smiles all the time. He's always saying what's up when I'm coming in, and so I'm here. And so bringing him here was like the number one draft pick. When I was trying to get more physical therapists here to grow our team, I was like, he was my first guy that I thought, even though he's a senior to me, right? Even though, I don't want just like always having to just get the fresh guy off the street. I just want the best possible, right? I want someone who's better than I am, right? And that's how you build a team, right? You don't want to be the smartest person in the group, or be the dumbest, right? Because that means your team is really strong. And he was my first pick.
That's awesome.
And how does that affect how you practice today?
Whenever I see things that I like, and there's a lot of things I like about what he does, it makes me want to be better, right? It makes me want to do, I should have thought of that too. That's great. It pushes me a lot all the time. I'm like, that's a great exercise. I know David's the same way. When David sees something he does, like, that's a good exercise. I'm like, yeah, that is a good exercise. I gotta do that too.
That is the beauty of having multiple doctors here. I've got 20-something years experience. You got 8 or 9 years experience. Nani's got 20-something years experience. You got 3 over here. Different walks of life, different places, but we see something, because we're all looking at stuff. All of us are lifetime learners, right? So we're all looking for stuff all the time. I steal stuff all the time from stuff that they did this and they didn't. They just added that piece. That's genius. And I'll take it, steal, and use it. And then we get to see each other doing it on the floor, and we're like, stolen, thank you. And you find the patient you can apply it to. So it's really cool to have that atmosphere with him. And Nandi's great, except for the Hawaiian shirts. I got to get the logo on his Hawaiian shirt, I guess.
We'll probably do Hawaiian Fridays or some Hawaiian shirt
Aloha
Fridays,
Fridays.
we used to do.
Might have to see if I can find 4 or 5 of those to get us on.
We can make that
Button downs for sure.
Aloha Fridays.
Button downs for sure. Yeah, short sleeves.
Yeah, but I mean, that's the advantage of this group here. And even with Tom, our other physical therapist here, it's just like we all have so many things to bring and so many different experiences, like Dr. T said. And, it makes everyone so much better, because like when you're by yourself, and, when I was by myself for a while, you're just kind of like in a hole, and you know what you know.
It gets lonely.
Yeah, but then when you see other people, it's like, man, it just keeps inspiring you, learning different things, and so it's fun.
Yeah, it's the best. It's I still learn things today, obviously, but it's the fun of it is finding it. Now it's like hunting down. Okay, I know this. What don't I know about this? And how much deeper can I go down that rabbit hole to find it? Right. And that's kind of the fun part too. And it's interesting because young doctors will sometimes feel a little like I should know everything. Right? I shouldn't ask. I shouldn't have to. I should know everything. And he and I, or Doctor, you and I are like, no, I'm going to ask as many questions as I possibly can and learn. Something in my head is missing something. So help me. And so it's a great thing to have. And so I hope as a young doc you learn from this as we have. Yeah. But as you go up, like always be learning from something, somebody, somewhere, somehow. Yeah. I mean, I can't tell you how many courses and you've done.
Oh yeah, tons.
I mean, the first year when he was building his practice, we were building his practice. He would be on the bike, pods in, laptop there, spinning his wheels, watching some seminar or somebody talk. And I was laughing like, this is a kid who's got a few degrees, knows a ton of stuff, very smart, constantly trying to take in new information.
The more you learn, the less you know.
Or the more you realize what you don't know.
Yeah, and so you get kind of frustrated. So you're like, you want to try to learn everything, and I know it's not always possible. But
not possible.
You know, you try to be as prepared as you can. And so when maybe a complex situation comes up, you want to be prepared, right?
Yeah.
And I'm always ready to punt, you know, to someone who has more expertise like Dr. T, Dr. David, you know, with Nandi as well. And so, but you want to be prepared. You want to make sure when people come here, you have solutions for them, and we want to try to do that for them.
Yeah. Whether that be out imaging, different doctor, different approach, whatever it is.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I can agree because I remember seeing him, especially in my first year of practice, just right on the ellipticals or on the bikes or anything that we had in here. Yeah, headphones in, laptop there, and I thought it'd be music because whenever I work out on
That's
any
what I'm
music,
listening to. I don't know how we listen to
it's a
podcasts or
podcast.
seminars. I was like, that's impressive, man. I can't focus on anything.
good for you, good for you.
So,
I don't know.
yeah, right?
I don't know. All right, do you want a fun question or do you want a deeper question?
Either one. We can do both.
All right, let's do a fun one. You're a big Disney guy, right? Could you kind of jump into that? Tell us why Disney?
I really like Disney. I wouldn't say I'm a super big Disney guy. My wife is a really big Disney person. Like her family is really big in Disney, so I enjoy that. We used to have Disney passes, but it's gotten a little pricey, and then we just don't have time. Like I remember a couple years, 3-4 years ago, we had a pass, and when we only got the weekday passes, like the SoCal pass, and just getting off the freeway on a Friday night, we couldn't even get off of it. And so we were like, this is pointless.
That's SoCal traffic problem right there.
Yeah. So now we just go on like special occasions, like we went on our anniversary. We'll stay there. Maybe sometimes we'll stay there over at the hotel, which is nice. And so we'll do a little staycation. So we enjoyed that.
That's cool.
But Disney's fun. Like, I mean, the magic's still there, even though the price goes up every single year. But you know, there's a lot of nostalgia about it. You know, when like growing up and going there. And so we're very fortunate living in Orange County that we're so close by. And so it's always fun. You know, you don't have to think about work. You don't have to think about anything other than just having fun and being around other people who have the same kind of mindset of like, we just want to be here, enjoy the magic of Disneyland, and you know, spend a lot of money, eat a lot of junk food, and
There's a lot of junk food.
Oh yeah, and that's great.
And I've heard stories. I'm like, really? Deep fried butter still my like what?
Hey,
it tastes pretty good without frying it.
Yeah, do it once. What I love about his office is if you look, there's actually like a hidden Mickey.
Oh,
He has one of them. And then also, if you go look at his wall, he has like what's called like scenic mountains. But then there's the Death. Is it the Death Star? No,
It's
like
like
it's Imperial Star Destroyer.
yeah,
Empire Strikes Back.
Imperial Star
like-
Destroyer comes out in the background.
I didn't. You know, the first time I saw it, I didn't see it. I was like, oh, he's in the snowy mountains. Cool.
Yeah.
I never clicked. And then one day I was like, we were talking. I was probably tuning him out when he was talking to me, and I like stared at the picture. I was like, wait, that's Star Wars stuff. He's like, yeah. I was like, I never saw that.
Yep.
That is so cool. And it looks like Empire Strikes Back, like they're coming out of like the fog.
Yep.
And I was like, that's one of my favorite movies of all time. And I was like, wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's like if you know Star Wars, you'll see it right away.
Yeah.
And if you don't, it looks like a really pretty mountain. And
So
it's
I like Star Wars. I didn't see it, but I'm not always the most observant in that sense. But nonetheless,
Yeah, I saw that. I loved it because it looks professional enough where you could kind of fit it into an office, and then, yeah, you see the Star Wars stuff. It's great. All right, so the question that we've been asking everyone here is like, how did you know that you made it as a physical therapist? Like, when did you know? I know that's a bigger question.
Oh, I don't think I'll ever feel that I made it as a physical therapist. I mean, it's just two things. Whether or not I feel like I'm competent as a physical therapist, or I feel like I've done well as a business. I guess it's maybe two different questions. But we'll say like as a physical therapist, I don't know. I kind of have, like a lot of PTs, everyone's got some level of imposter syndrome. I'm sure chiros as well. And so how I kind of battle with that, I guess, is just you just learn as much as you can. You try to develop as much large of a toolbox so you don't get as stumped as much as possible,
that's
right?
what I call it practice.
So you just try to learn. But you know, once I had people starting to kind of refer to me and like have pretty decent word of mouth, that really made me feel like, oh, I'm doing something worthwhile. I'm doing something that someone's not only benefiting from, but finding a lot of value from. Because I mean, and it makes me feel great, you know. And I enjoy that. I have the very same amount of people that come in constantly, and it's really nice to see them all the time. Like we build really good relationships, and I want people when they come here to feel like this is more than just like a clinic, even though it's in the name. I kind of want to change the center, but like it's a home, like it's like your family home, and that's how I want this the vibe in this place to be like. And once people started coming and seeing me more often and telling their family, their kids, their brothers, sisters, aunts, and uncles, things like that, and then I felt like, okay, we're doing something here.
that's called making it.
Yeah, for sure.
That's it. Once the best gratitude, the best thank you is that referral of,
Right.
especially when somebody brings in a loved one. like, oh, here's my husband or my wife, or here's my child. That one,
Right.
that one's got to set you back. Like, wow, you're trusting your child with me.
Totally.
That's making it though.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
with the kids, like I don't typically see kids. I'm not a peds guy. I'm not like strong with peds.
By peds, it means pediatrics.
Pediatrics,
For those
yeah.
out there,
And so, and then I had a patient, send her 7-year-old to me, and I was like, okay, like because they trusted that I could help them. I'm like, all right, we'll try, and it was great. It worked out fine, and it was great because like I'm usually like I'm good with what I'm strong with, and I'm pretty confident about like where my toolboxes will help people, and when I'm not, I'll not push them, or I'll refer them to someone else. But they really wanted to see me, and I was like, yeah, let's go for it. Let's see what I can do, and then it worked out fine.
You know what the best part is? Because you guys, I mean, you're only 3 years into your actual own practice, where you're working for a group before. Now you're in this thing. It's that when they start coming to you with things that literally you cannot treat, it is like surgical, probably, definitely imaging, and maybe not even be an orthopedic side of things. That's where I felt like, oh, we kind of got it. Like that's when you really have them. They're going to walk in with something. You're like, I love you guys. I can't do anything with this.
Right.
You have to go somewhere else.
So one of the things that I do in my practice, like everyone has my phone number. Like we have an office number that we use as well. People call it that. And people have my cell phone number because I want them to be able to contact me if they need to, and no one really takes advantage of that. So, I mean, no one
takes advantage of it.
Takes advantage of it.
Yeah.
But they do.
Use it.
But on emergencies, some people will text me and call me. I'm just like, you need to go to the emergency room. Like, I can't do anything for that. But it's pretty interesting and pretty cool to see that they'll come to me first, or
100%.
I'll be one of their first line, and I'm like, and I'll try to help as much as I can. But yeah, sometimes I'm just like, that's like a medical
the best
doctor.
text I get over the weekend. I was like, when I started off my practice, I had that. I had the one number. It was my number, and everybody had it.
Right.
And they text me a question about this, that, and the other weekend. I'm like, nope. Nope. And in my head, it's like, because I don't know what's going on with you right now. I know what I'm treating, but those ones, I'm like, ER would be a really good place to go. Right. Yeah. I had one. I have to share this one quick story. I had one guy come in. He had fallen on mountain biking. He had a lump the size of a softball on his SI joint, on his low back. And he walked in and he was telling me his back's killing him, this and that. I'm like, okay, did you fall? Told him about the fall. I'm like, okay. He goes, yeah, I can show you. I'm like, you can show me? He turned around, pulled his pants down. I was like, yeah, I can't do anything about that. For a second, I went, okay, lymphatic drainage. I can do a swelling tape job. Maybe I can get some of that. No, I can't. No, there's nothing I can do. There's not enough. Oh my Lord. But it was like, it is. It's like, thank you for entrusting me. Totally. I appreciate that. It is it is good confidence. Okay, I'm doing the right thing by these people. And we just did a podcast a week ago about doctor shopping. Yeah. And that's what we meant with patients, like find that relationship like you're talking about, where you both like each other. Right. Because you're going to work together. An hour once a week or twice a week over weeks and months or years or what have you, that's a lot of time. Totally. You better have somebody you kind of enjoy and talk to and whatever. And it's nice that they're not taking advantage of the number, because that's a sign of respect, which is great. Because I have a handful of patients still have my personal number now, and they never abuse it. Right. Yeah, that's right. I love that. One was a sprained ankle on a kid, on a 7-year-old. Yeah. The funniest part is they didn't think about when they took a picture of it, it was shadowed. Right. So it looked like it was, I should pull this up for you just to see the funnies. But it was shadowed, and I kept texting him like, is that a shadow, or is that the actual bruise? And it's just like, classic. I looked at that, I was like, oh my goodness. Oh, yeah. So it made it look a lot worse. I'm thinking, oh, broken, torn, what happened? Right. And then he sent a picture a minute later without the shadow. And I was like, oh, never mind. You can see a little bit there, but not too crazy. Yeah. But at first I was like, oh. And I was like, oh, no, you're fine. Okay, fine. Oh, good. Yep. So, all right.
Yep. A bunch of my patients are around my same age. They're texting me funny pictures. I purposely won't respond because I know I want to respond.
Yes, you can. Yes. Yeah. Because you do have to be careful of the boundaries. Yeah, there has to be a professional boundary in there somehow. But
But yeah, that's my relationship with my patients right now. Yeah, so send the memes. I'll still.
Not that we don't enjoy them.
I just can't do everything.
Respond all the time.
All right. So obviously, we didn't ask this with Nandi, but I feel like we should have asked this. PTs and chiros, right? Oftentimes you hear like there's always a battle here, but here we work together all the time. What is the advantage that you've seen with us working together versus when we're separated completely?
I think a lot of it's perspective. I don't see it as like, oh, the chiros just do spine work or from spine to out. I just see them as okay, what is your perspective in how to treat this person, like, period?
Yeah.
Because,
Yeah.
you know, a lot of us, we overlap in a lot of how we think and how
We
we
overlap
understand.
a ton, yeah.
But
Yeah.
the experience and outcome experiences are going to be different. Like, you know, Dr. T's seen a lot more stuff than I have, reps wise. And so he's going to see things that I have never seen before. So I'm like, how does this outcome is going to look like? Right. I mean, I may not answer it that way, but like, or ask that way, but like, he'll notice. I remember the other day, he was just like, oh, for example, if there is a runner and, you know, they run 3 miles and that's when they have their knee pain, that's typically a strength problem. I'm like, oh, that actually makes a lot of sense, right? Versus having to go through this route of like, oh, it's their calcaneus, their ankle bone, or, you know, all these different things, and their glute medius is like this. And so, you know, sometimes they just need, you know, simple loading program, things like
Yeah.
that. And
Yeah.
that is, you know, that is a style of thinking that, you know, is evolved over time. You know,
100%.
You know,
and
you
I've
don't
learned from a lot of people
Right.
to get there. Yeah.
Right.
Just like you.
Yeah, I like that. It was like, you know, if when you hear hoof beats, you know, don't think of zebras. You can go even deeper. It's like don't think of zebras, think of horses.
Yeah.
You can even go deeper and you're like, don't think of horses, think of hooves, right? And so like you don't have to. It doesn't have to be so dramatically like.
There's very few of those.
And so
The
very
zebras
few,
are few,
and
yeah.
so.
Yeah, I mean, it comes in like we all have very complex problems walk in sometimes, and the more questions we ask, the deeper we go. It's like a very simple fix,
Right.
and we're like, oh, that's it? Okay,
Yeah.
That was and other ones that seem very simple.
Yeah.
Holy complexity.
Yeah, I remember first year as a doctor, you get some of those weird cases coming in, and your brain is going off of, is this RA, is this psoriatic arthritis, X, Y, and Z.
Oh, the doctor side. It's so hard when you're new.
Sometimes it still happens.
Yeah.
I feel like I've caught maybe 1 or 2 of them where it actually was that. But, like, yeah, it's like, oh, yeah, we'll just work on a couple things here and there, and they're fine.
Yep.
And I sit like an idiot in the corner. It's like, why the hell did I go down that other rabbit hole here?
I mean, honestly, the funniest part, I don't know if you went through it, because you had your clinic where you worked with a bunch of PTs. You came out on your own to see your own clients. I don't know if you had this, and please tell us if you did, because I'm very curious. But that shock when you first walk into a room with a patient for the first time that's paying you to see you. You shut the door and, how you doing today? What's going on? And that feeling of like, oh, this is like real.
You forget everything. All of a sudden,
everything.
Like,
It's all blank.
Because the last clinic I was in, it was a great clinic, and it was a big clinic, and we were really busy, but we were out in the open, and that's kind of how typical clinics, PT clinics work. And so here, you know, we each have our own offices, and we're just like a huge luxury. So when we close that door, I usually leave it slightly open. It's like, oh, it's just me and you now. Like, this is kind of weird. And so, but I mean, you get over it after a while. But
you get used to it.
nice.
You definitely can. But that first, because I remember the first time I did it, I was like, I don't know anything. What happened? Like my brain just literally went blank.
Yeah, there's zero now.
I didn't know how to ask a question.
Yeah.
And I was laughing like, okay, just why are they here? Why are you here? It's just like started down the Q&A and you kind of got there, but it is a funny feeling at first.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And it's funny with interns when they come in and they'll be very confident and I've done this and I've done that. And then you put them with patient, they're like, oh, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, it's just different.
I've been running all the interns through my knee case just to see where they're at.
for sure.
It's been fun.
Oh, God.
Just to make them sweat a little bit.
Yeah, it is, because real application, when you're not being tested.
Yeah.
In the sense of scores, you're being tested in real life now. Different animal. Different animal.
100%.
I think also with chiropractors as well, at least the ones I've been around, it's just like the manual therapy skills is going to be different, right? And so that having, a lot of chiropractors that typically do, other than the adjustments, they'll do a lot of manual things like ART, stuff like that. And so, and Dr. Travis is like our master's level ART here, active release therapy technique.
Yep. Very.
Here, and so it's a very specific type of manual therapy that not a lot of physical therapy therapists will get during
like
school.
chiros either.
Yeah,
Not a lot around here.
Yeah, or even what's it called? Coming out of school, like even being exposed to that. So being here, having Dr. Travis have that skill already was a huge addition to some of our toolboxes and things like that. So seeing that as well, like, because every chiropractor, they're going to have their different styles and different things that they've learned as well, just as like PTs. And so just another person to steal information from. That's how I see it.
Absolutely.
How I see it. And
I mean, you give me a room of 5-6 doctors that are spend spare time reading medical books, rehab books, functional books, everything. and you have 5 of us doing that, there's a lot of information because we can read the same book, all 5 of us, and probably get 5 different perspectives.
Probably.
And probably miss 5 separate things.
Right.
Yeah. Because I've read a few books a few times, and I read back in, I'm like, I didn't see that the first 17 times I read this. How is that possible?
Yeah.
All right. What else do we know about Dr. Yu? We got his hobbies. What's your favorite food?
Oh man, pretty much any Asian food. I mean, I like to eat.
Just didn't narrow it down at all.
So-
Is there a go-to on an island? Yeah, one thing you have.
Oh man, one thing. I don't know if I have a one thing. Probably like pho. You know,
Pho.
Vietnamese pho. That's probably number one. It's very.
I'm surprised.
Mine was combination
Yeah.
pizza, so that's interesting.
Yeah, it's very. It's classic. It's very like.
It's very clean.
Homey. Like it's very heartwarming. You know, it feels like home inside. I like
Well, I
that.
guess it'd be nice on an island by yourself to
Yeah.
have that.
Yeah.
That'd be
I
a
mean,
nice feeling.
I'd be sweating the entire time.
Yeah.
That's also true. Also
great.
true.
It's the best time to eat it.
Oh yeah, I always get pho when I'm feeling sick.
Exactly. Right?
Yeah.
It's soothing. It's warm.
Yeah.
You know,
It's great.
relatively healthy.
Pho. Well,
I love the relatively healthy part.
relatively. I mean, it's bone broth. That's
Oh, yeah.
All right. Let's
Let's
see.
see, favorite food, favorite color.
Favorite
Probably
color?
black. It's
Probably,
probably black.
blue or black.
Dark blue.
Which is
You're
pretty
like
much
my older son. You guys
yeah.
dress identically.
Yeah, I'm pretty simple. I try not, other than maybe like my volleyball shoes. Like I try to keep it simple.
Yeah.
I don't like attention. I'm usually hidden in the corner somewhere.
What's funny?
That's why I didn't want to be
Alvin.
here. And so,
Nandi's the exact opposite.
Nandi and Alvin are just like your kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nandi is my middle son, Aiden. It's a big guy. And you are my older son, Quinn. Like, Aiden will walk out with green sweatpants, an orange shirt, and a blue jacket, and socks that don't match. And I'm just like, I love you. I love his style. And my other son comes out like black head to toe. And I was like, dude, color, like anything, a white t-shirt. Yeah, so funny.
Yeah, that's
So
great.
favorite color, favorite food. Did the animal?
We did the
He
animal.
chose dog.
You chose dog.
Very boring.
Is there any mythical animal you choose
Ooh.
with that one?
a mythical animal. What's that? Griffin?
So we all said Griffin. See, you're the only one that didn't
I
say
was
Griffin.
I think I only
Dragon.
said that because you
Dragon
guys
or-
had said it. Dragon's a good one too.
Dragon's a good
Dragon.
one,
Yeah, Dragon. My whole family's dragon.
Oh yeah, it's
Dragon.
like
my,
Bruce Lee.
my daughter had to do talent show.
Mm-hmm.
She had to go up on stage and draw a dragon
Oh, that's
in
cool.
real time for the talent show.
And she drew you.
No, I'm not. I'm unsketchable. As my wife would say, my head's too big to fit on the paper. Physically, not. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I actually had a buddy. I did a breath analyzer days, and he
Yeah.
was going to put a hat on, and he's like, "God, your head's huge," and he had to like loosen it up. It's like, thanks, man. Feel
Yeah.
free.
Do you have any guilty pleasures?
Ooh, faux.
Guilty
Fuck.
pleasures. I don't know if it's a guilty pleasure, but I
Ice cream,
want to see.
scotch, whipped cream.
I really like bread. I make a lot of bread.
Oh,
or
yeah.
used to
Did you
make
make
a
a
lot of
picture of bread that you made?
Yeah, it's a picture of bread that I made in my room. So I'm really proud of that.
Making the bread or the picture?
Both. My wife took that picture, so it was really cool. I have a really nice like cutting board that she got me as well, and
That's
so
great.
it's on that. So I used to make a lot of bread.
Zen's out making bread.
So here's the funny part, right? Whenever we do fantasy football as an office, his team name is always called Breadhab because he likes bread that much.
I never knew that, by the
Yep.
way. Yeah, I did not know that.
Yep.
I only
I
know how to
know.
make sourdough bread. That's all.
That's it?
That's it. I've made brioche before, but
How
it's
is
too
it
much.
brioche?
It's fine. It's too many ingredients. The great thing
Too
about
complex.
sourdough is just flour, water, salt, and a little bit of what's it called? Yeast, I guess you would say.
That's it, huh?
Yeah, that's it.
You have to bring some bread in sometime if you make it.
I will.
I'd love to try it. I'd be
Yeah,
curious.
I'd love to make French toast with this.
French toast.
Sourdough French
Yeah,
toast?
I had a friend that tried it. Oh, tried to make it pretty good. So
You know what I had the other day? My wife and I had a beef melt.
what's that?
So it's a patty melt.
Okay, I know.
Patty melt, yeah. But it had
Hamburger
sourdough.
patty. Oh,
And it
yeah.
had- yeah. And I was like, how have I never heard of it? It had bacon, it had a mustard sauce. I was like, how have I never heard of this? It was the most amazing. Oh, and I didn't feel like crap after, which is always a key.
That's really
when you
good.
go out and eat, not feeling like. It's sad that that's a thing, but yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
My sourdough starter is also 9 years old now.
Oh, you still have it?
It's just chilling in my refrigerator from San Francisco when I was in school in San Francisco. So
No, you've been committed.
That is a bread man right there.
I drove it home from school.
That's impressive.
How is that? Because don't you have to keep it at a specific temperature before it starts?
Yeah, it's okay. It'll survive. Like even if it dies a little bit, you can always refresh it and bring it back.
Yeah, this
So
guy
it's not
knows
a big
bread.
deal. So,
He knows his bread
I'm
real
picking
well.
up on that.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever knew it was that.
yeah,
I mean, Star Wars I picked up on, but the bread thing.
you have to name it too. Apparently, so I named it Bao's. Bao
Bao's?
is just like
Bao's?
bread in Chinese.
Oh,
and so-
okay. Once you said Chinese, I was like, oh, okay.
Can you say bread in South? Is it Korean?
No, I'm not Korean. Sounds Korean. I'm Filipino.
Filipino. It's Filipino.
It's still.
Yeah, but you speak like 9 languages.
No, I speak So I'm not really literate in all of the
Yeah, but you
languages.
can still speak a few.
We still would say with ban, like
Same,
Spanish.
similar, yeah.
All right, some clarification. Bread in Tagalog is tinapay. I said pan, which is bread in Cebuano or Visaya, which is actually the dialect where my parents come from. So I was a little confused there. The languages there always get mixed up in my head because I don't use them often. But just to clarify, bread is tinapay in Tagalog. In Cebuano or in Visaya, it's pan. So just wanted to clarify that before any of you get mad at me for that one. So my bad.
That's boring. All right.
Yeah, it's not that cool.
I have to look some up. All right.
Because we use pan de sal, which is funny. It means salt bread. Or we don't use sal for salt. We use asin. So sal is the Spanish derivative when we were conquered by Spain. That's a fun little side tangent.
All right, we're going to history buff now.
Yeah.
All right. I like this. History's fun.
History can be fun, especially if we're talking about the fun
What's
things.
the history of bread?
All right, obviously, you like learning a bunch of stuff here. What is the most fun thing you're learning about, or what's the most current thing you're learning about right now?
Oh man, what is the most current?
Because I know
thing
you're still
I'm
watching
learning
those podcasts and everything while you're on your bikes.
Have you watched our podcast on your bike?
Yeah, a little bit.
Ah.
I saw the one with Nandi. and so-
Nice. Oh, just not here.
yeah, he told me to watch it, so I went to go watch it. So,
And you
Did you hear his
commented.
brain freeze?
a little bit.
Yeah, he got stuck
I
and he was
guess.
like, and I was like, did he glitch? Is he? Should I touch him? He's awake.
I think mine right now is reevaluating the shoulder.
Okay.
You know, I have a love-hate relationship with the shoulder. It's a
Complex.
very complex
Yeah,
joint. It's
yeah.
the most mobile joint of the body. There's 17 tissues that touch the joint.
But it also relies on
and
so many other parts of the body.
exactly. And
It's
so
such a needy area.
right. Some days I'm like, oh yeah, shoulder, got it, killing it. And other days someone will come in with a simple shoulder issue and and it's like, I don't know what's going on here. And so I'm constantly reviewing, what's it new out there? What am I missing? How do I reevaluate stuff? How do I simplify, maybe my evaluation process so I can get the root cause, like people like to say, or the nitty gritty of like how to maybe exercise better, how to load it better, maybe some better manual therapy techniques.
And that comes in the thing we did podcast. Man, I cannot talk. The podcast we did was the lifestyle. Those variables that we can't control.
Right.
And they go out, and we got to wrap this sucker up pretty soon. But it's like, it's the variables, just the stuff they do you can't control.
Right.
Sleeping on it. Remember sleeping on it?
Yeah, I always tell
don't know
people.
what I do.
Yeah, it's like when you come in, it's like we always try to go after the lowest hanging fruit, right? If you don't sleep well, maybe your nutrition is poor. Like the hour we have with each other is a small part of your overall life. Your environment is a big part of how you feel, how you interact with the world. And so if those environmental things don't change, it's really hard for simple exercise, simple manual stuff, therapy stuff to change.
Yeah.
And so,
Yeah.
Right. I feel like we
Covered the base pretty good. I'm trying to think of anything else we want to know about this kid. We got his favorite snack. We got his island. Music. What kind of music you listen to?
oh man, I mostly listen to podcasts right now.
voices.
And
I just hear voices in my head.
What do I listen to? I mean, I'm kind of right now. I've been going back to like '90s pop.
I've been playing that in the
So
office.
all of it,
80s,
yeah.
baby.
So all my Pandora stuff that we put on the office is either it was first '80s because Travis would always do
Crazy
80s
80s.
stuff, and I was like, I got really into '80s. Then it's now back to '90s because now I'm like. I work out with Backstreet Boys all the time. I'm just like, yeah, like my 20s, like awesome, like I feel good.
Good memories.
And so that's what I've been doing. So mostly that 90s and 80s. That's kind of my go-to right now.
That's awesome.
No, that's great.
Yeah, it's funny. Every time I come in the office on like coming on a Saturday or Sunday, or
Oh,
come
I
by,
can tell
some-
who came in first.
I know exactly who who left the office last.
Yeah.
I can tell if it was Tom. I can tell if it was Nani. I can tell if it was Dick. You can totally tell who had the tunes on. But one time, OBP came on.
Oh,
And
jeez.
it's like I walked in on a Monday or Tuesday, and that was like the first song popped on. I started laughing. I was like, probably not going to work in the clinic, but
Yeah.
man, this is memories. This is great.
Yeah, I remember coming in. It was Run DMX.
Oh, yeah.
Run DMC.
Run DMC, yeah.
Run DMC. I was like,
Oh, shoot.
Nandi?
Nandi. Exactly, Nandi. We should always have a poll every morning or something like that. Like, who left last night? Take a guess.
Yeah.
Without looking at the calendar.
Oh yeah.
All right.
That's great.
Well,
I
we
feel
got
like
to know
everything.
Doc Yu pretty well. I like this. It took us a while to get him here. I think it'll be easier next time.
Yeah, it's
It's not that bad, is it?
It's not that
It's
bad.
enjoyable.
Just chit chat and talk and BS and
Yeah.
learn about
We just
you a little bit.
recorded.
And I had no idea the bread thing. I'm still kind of like, I've known you 3 years. I did not know. I mean, I knew you did bread, but I didn't know like there's makers. It's in the fridge. I didn't know this. I didn't know all that stuff was there.
Oh, it's a whole science.
That's
So,
Temperature
wait,
control.
here's a fun question. If you're doing sourdough, are you doing like any kombucha related stuff?
No, I try to, but it's kind of gross and scary. Like it's called a SCOBY, like
Yeah.
the bacteria that you have to hold. It looks like an alien in a bottle,
It does,
and I don't know if it's safe. And so at least with sourdough, like the bacteria, you're cooking it in a 475 degree oven, so all that stuff's gonna die. So you're good to go. But
man,
with kombucha, I don't want to get myself
We'll
sick.
talk about that one next time we have.
I'm curious.
Yeah, because I'm curious too. But yeah, we
Anyways.
have to stick up and move on. All right, guys. Thanks for joining us. This is Doc T.
Dr. David.
Dr. Alvin.
We'll see you guys next time.
Yes, thanks.
Bye. All right, some clarification. Bread in Tagalog is tinapay. I said pan, which is bread in Cebuano, or Visaya, which is actually the dialect where my parents come from. So I was a little confused there. The languages there always get mixed up in my head because I don't use them often. But just to clarify, bread is tinapay in Tagalog. In Cebuano or in Visaya, it's pan. So just wanted to clarify that before any of you get mad at me for that one. So my bad.